channel. Because usually Twitch takes a little bit.
I definitely know how to test for that and know if that's true. I pressed start. That's what I did.
I pressed start. I know these things. I push buttons.
I'm a videographer.
Sending. Okay, we are on. I'm figuring it out as we go. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. We're sending data to Twitch.
We're sending data. Okay. Let me know when the aliens respond. Yes.
We are online on Twitch now.
Nice.
We have
3 for 3.
The trifecta.
Exactly.
We already have our first comment.
Devil's Triangle.
Trifecta selecta. Gonna infect ya. That's a really bad lyric for this time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, please don't infect me.
with kilts invecta.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't rap.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
You look very French.
I know. Well, this is actually a French beret given to me by a French person.
Oh,
like
very nice.
30 years ago. I've had this that long. Yeah.
It's very pretty.
Her name was Cecile.
Oh, Cecile. All right,
no,
I won't do it. She's breaking my heart, though. Okay.
She broke my heart.
Bitch. All right. Okay. Are we ready to go?
Sure. I think we're good.
Very good. Excellent. Howdy, boys and girls. Welcome to Kilts and Culture. I am Rocky. This is Eric.
Yo.
Today, special treat.
Is it really special?
It's always special.
Every single month.
Every time I get to drink Scotch, it's special.
Good point. Okay.
We are drinking the Glenlivet 14 Cognac Cask Selection. This was given to us by our good friend Jonathan King. So thank you very much, Jonathan. We are going to test it and give you our honest feedback, be it good, bad, or indifferent. Mr. Ian.
To the best of our ability.
Yeah.
We're not.
We're trained professionals. Don't try this at home.
Yeah.
Mr. Ian, if you could give us a little snippet.
Hi,
Yes.
Ian.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Ian Anderson.
Boys and girls.
We have a bit of good news this week. Mac is not with us.
Yay!
Because he and his wife just had their baby earlier this week. So he is taking a break to be with the family. So
Indeed.
We'll have to pour out a little scotch for him.
Pour more into my glass for him.
Right.
Yes.
I thought you meant like put scotch, dip your finger in the scotch and put it on the gums of the baby, or
There you go.
is that a thing?
Yeah.
Or that's
for
teething.
toothaches.
That's for
Yeah.
toothaches.
Yeah.
Never did that.
Yeah, me
did
neither.
that, yeah.
My dad wasn't cool enough to give me scotch that age. I did have a beer on my first birthday, though. He brought me to a bar, set me up on the bar, and gave me a little bit of a beer.
Okay.
Anyway, so we have Ian with us today. Ian is
Hi,
our
people.
store manager, longtime kilt maker. He's been on the show a few times, so some of you may recognize him.
Yep.
So he will be giving us some tasting notes on the Glenlivet 14 Cognac Cask Selection. It's easy for me to say, that our good friend Jonathan King provided for us. Mr. Ian, if you would.
Look at me. I am the Mac now. So let's talk
How
about the
long
nose.
have you had that loaded and ready to
I
go?
think I said that a year ago when I was on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. So it occurred to me about 30 seconds before I said it this time, though. So let's talk about the nose a little bit first, since you're still pouring. Now's a good time to be getting the nose. It's rich, nutty, and with a distinct brandy note. Not at all shy, but also not particularly complex. Brandy, a hint of green apple, a swath of malt, and middling caramel sweetness is all I can pick up. Still, the whole is round and complete and pleasant.
A swath. Why don't you come around and get yours before you continue, sir?
Can do.
Performing the ritual of proving we are not in front of a green screen. This is what we do.
I'll do this. I'll at least get
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
There you go, Mr. Ian. Well, you
No, you got to go around. You got to do your victory lap around it. Yeah.
The victory
You go
lap.
back and say hi to Chicken Man if you want to. Yeah, Chicken Man. That's like the pet name for the statue. It's supposed to be like Vercingetorix or something like that. It belonged to my grandmother, my grandparents. So it's
Okay. All right. So the Glenlivet 14.
It's nutty and brandy like. Is the nose?
I get a little like caramely-ish on the nose. Not so much the nutty, but I do get a little caramely. And I definitely see the similarity to brandy. A touch.
It's a little bit of that butterscotchy note that I sometimes pick up on, which might be what they mean by the...
That's what I'm saying by caramel.
Nutty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ian, you getting anything?
Sweet for sure. I don't know that my palate is as refined as yours from doing so many of these.
We can make this stuff up, dude. Come on.
Yeah, sweet, a little alcoholic burn.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting.
Okay.
I hear what you're saying. I don't know that I would pick that up on my own.
Yeah, it's power suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Little sippy sip.
You can try it neat, and Ian can tell us what we got wrong.
Mm-hmm. Definitely I get the cognac-ish. I get the top and back of the mouth. It's very watery. It's not like thick consistency in my mouth, if you will.
Your mouthfeel?
Yeah, mouthfeel is
umami.
just like watery-ish.
I don't get that.
Okay.
But what do I know? I mean,
Now, do you get like let's say like when we had the Drambu and stuff, like it felt sticky and
yeah.
in my mouth.
Yeah.
This is not. It's very like just like alcohol-y water.
I just come up with a name like water of something for it. So water of makes you feel good.
Yes.
Water that makes you feel alive.
Yes. The water of life.
Water of
perhaps.
life. Water
That'd be
of
a
life.
Great
of
name.
life. I
Yes,
like that. I like that.
it.
Copyright it.
We're onto something. Maybe we should translate the Gaelic. Like Ishkabaha or something.
You do, and you clean it up.
Exactly. Ian, mouth taste anything for you over there? He's diligently looking for comments and whatnots. Oh, while he's doing that, boys and girls, load the comments, load the questions in the chat. Let us know if you have any questions that you want us to know about.
They know the routine.
Mac is apparently joining us from beyond the walls of our building here today.
Wow.
He has pointed out that he is still the Mac.
He is the Mac.
We didn't even need to use a Ouija board to connect with him. He's going to spit out his
I almost spit the scotch all over the keyboard, sending this whole thing off the rails.
Exactly. We go off the rails.
We're already off the
regular
rails. I'm
basis,
trying to
dude.
get back on the rails. I'm trying to taste this scotch.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Dad. I'll drink my scotch and shut up.
Little woody.
Yeah.
Not like a really profound oakiness, but...
All right. I'm going to do a little water.
Well, there are some notes here on water from the same reviewer.
Okay.
Do you want any water for yours?
I already put some in.
Okay.
He says, a few drops of water initially shut down the aroma, necessitating a rest in the glass. The aroma comes back slowly, first with increased nose tickle and a vague green bramble note, and then a bit of caramel. On the tongue, the body is a little weightier and the tongue burn lessened. The finish is a bit sweeter. Water's optional here. Experiment if you're curious.
I didn't get a lot of tongue burn, or whatever he called it.
Weighty on the tongue.
Weighty. Yeah.
Most of that makes no sense to me.
No. Yeah, if anything, to me, it's like lighter. It's like water. It's like nothing.
It is light. I've lost some of the sweetness after watery. Mostly it's the...
I got a lot more wood with the water.
Yeah, I'm getting more of the wood. I'm not necessarily getting that cognac brandy flavor as much as...
It's a hint to me at this point now with the water.
I think it's more on the nose than it is in the actual flavor. If that makes sense.
If any of you out there have tried it, let us know. What do you think? The Glenlivet 14 Cognac Cask Collection. Selection. I've been stumbling all over this.
Cognac Cask Collection.
Yes.
Selection.
Selection. Yes.
Selection.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Color-wise, medium. It's not too light, not too dark. It's
Looks
not
like a cufflink.
Yeah, fair. It's not like Lagavulin pretty dark, but it's not that dark. Leg.
Nice amber.
There's a little bit of legs in the glass.
Not much.
Not much. Yeah.
But that kind of does that go with sugar, perhaps? Remember you were saying you didn't feel the...
I don't know.
But you were saying you didn't feel a thick mouthfeel to it. It felt watery, and then there's no legs. So I'm wondering if there's a correlation there.
Lagavulin has legs, and it's not sweet or sugary or anything, really.
So know how to use them?
Exactly. I miss ZZ Top.
They're still around.
One of them died, didn't he?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, well,
Let's just cut that.
Yeah.
I didn't
Get
say
the Ouija board
It's
back
your
out.
fault.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are very unfocused today. I would say it's okay. I was to be honest, I was intimidated by just it's a Glenlivet product and it's 14 years. So I was thinking, oh, well, this is theoretically supposed to be a good one, statistically. Like you always think more years is better.
Yeah.
But I'm not as impressed with it as I was expecting to be. So you want to go to the scores?
Sure. The more years I find in my extensive drinking, alcoholism, I find that the more years just basically just mellows it out some.
Right.
It smooths it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ian, score 1 to 10. You can get in there with the decimals. 8 higher is you would drive to go get it. 2 or lower is you would politely refuse. Where do you find yourself?
On the lower end of the scale, I do prefer a smokier Scotch myself. 4.05.
Wow.
Double decimal.
Yeah, not impressed,
Double.
but I've got no major objections to it. Hand it to me, I would never turn it away.
Fair.
Okay.
I will finish this.
If you hand it to me, I would never turn it away. Sounds like a lyric. Just checking my cliff notes here. Spark notes, sorry. Yeah, I'm just not finding it very interesting. I'll give it a 3.9. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, it's like I do like things either a little sweeter or a little smokier, and this is kind of like so in between. This is kind of maybe it's too subtle for my unsophisticated palate. Maybe that's what it is. I'm just not. It's just kind of like okay.
Yeah, it doesn't go any one direction hard enough.
Can't decide if it has a personality of its own.
The personality in it, in theory, is the cognac.
I like the nose better than the flavor. Is that weird to say?
No. I was
more
kind
of what they're
coming
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I get more of the soul of it. Soul.
Yeah.
Being all
soul.
fancy. I feel it's the soul is more in the nose than it is in the taste. I agree with you on that.
And I think it now we did not let this bottle breathe. We opened it rough, raw, whatever you want to say. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this is better a little later on.
I wouldn't, because I don't think it would be, because that would like cut down on the alcohol-y burn, so to speak. I don't think it would bring out any more sweetness or any more flavor necessarily.
Okay.
So I'm not quite as harsh as you two.
You're a softie.
I enjoy scotches. Now I have grown. I am starting to enjoy different types of scotches, and I'm not as a one-dimensional Scotch drinker. So I'm gonna go 5.4. Still like average. It's fine.
Okay.
It's good. It doesn't have any major flavor profile one way or the other, so I'm not giving it a major score off of center. I'm gonna stick right around the 5.4.
Right.
Okay.
Very good. All right.
So
It'd definitely be a safe one to serve somebody.
It'd be also fine for a gift.
Yeah.
If you don't know the type of person, what they like in Scotch, this is fine. It's a reasonable entry level. I wouldn't say it's great. It's probably going to be a little bit more expensive, like Shield Egg or Glenkirchen or like one of those would be better for a first timer. But this isn't bad by any stretch.
Yeah.
So there you go.
What were we about to say, Ian?
So I know we're not really properly into the questions part of the show yet, but I have one that's relevant to whiskey here,
Sure.
and it's inspiring
Strong
lots.
off completely.
It's inspiring lots of comments here. So
Okay.
Sean Owens wants to know any recommendations for Welsh whiskeys. Or
I
not
have
really.
No clue.
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Well then, pay attention
That's
to
a
the other
really good.
commenters, please,
Is
Sean.
anybody commenting that on something? Because now I'm curious.
Several, but it's not
List a
easy.
few.
There's a lot of comments here. I'd have to.
okay, fair.
One way or another, get the information to us because
Yeah.
that's something we haven't really tried.
Yeah.
Viking Nephilism says he likes Clonelish.
Okay.
Oh, there's Welsh.
don't know if
There's
I'm
gonna be
saying that right.
Like 87 consonants in a row. It's freaking Welsh. No, we've never had a Welsh whiskey. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Cameron Rick says Edrador is the only one.
Okay.
Fair.
There's several other comments, but good
All
luck
right.
for me trying to
Nice.
find them all.
We really should do like a tasting party someday. And
Yeah, well, yes, in general, yes, the more Scotch, the better. But I will also say we need to do, like we focused on Irish and Scottish whiskeys, so
Usually.
we need to branch out.
We did one Japanese one.
That's fair. We did a Japanese, yes.
I have some Indian whiskey at home.
When you think Celtic
some
culture,
Indian whiskey at home.
when you think Celtic culture, you think Japanese.
When it comes to whiskey, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm being flippant, but yes, we need to do a Welsh one. Very good. Put in your comments your favorite Welsh whiskey that you want us to try, and send it to the store.
I'll say this: we could do that if there's a way we could get one next month. We could do it and then have the discussion of it in time for St. David's Day.
Fair.
Which would be pretty cool.
Very good. St. David's Day, March 1st. Good day.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep.
All right.
That'd be seasonally appropriate.
Indeed. Quite. Continue loading comments and questions in the comment section. I guess it's
the thing
that way. Over there, maybe somewhere. I don't know. Ian, you start amalgamating the questions. Mr. Eric, we will start with you. What do we got?
Okay. I'm gonna dive right in here with the one at the very top of the list. Welsh Hemingway, which I cannot figure out if that's a joke or not. It's probably a joke name, but says, any advice on how to deal with all the ladies who throw themselves at me when I'm wearing my kilts? He has another question, but I'm going to save it for later because it's more of a techie question. But how do you deal with all the ladies who are all up ons?
All up in my business.
All up ons. No,
we're being, we've answered this question before. It's a bit flippant. I want to take a slightly different. Oh, let me hear. That's now no longer in the shop. We've answered this question before. We've never really gone the direction I want to kind of take it. Yes, when you wear a kilt, you will get more people coming up to you. You will probably get more people coming up to you than you would in normal life, as far as women approaching you and wanting to talk to you and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. What I would say is this: if you are looking for a serious relationship, or if you're not looking for a serious, doesn't matter.
Do you want to start over?
No, you can. You have more people, more prospects, if you will, serious or not serious, to be able to go through. So take the opportunity while wearing a kilt to be able to get into a conversation and see if there's an actual connection there, because you're kind of punching above your weight to a degree when you're wearing a kilt, because more women will come up to you. It's true. I am not a devilishly handsome man, but I met a lot more attractive women in bars coming up and talking to me than I should otherwise have had the ability to do. So take that opportunity and kind of dig into it a little bit.
Oh my gosh. Is it 1975?
It is. It is. I wasn't born till 77, but that's fine. No.
Hang on, wait. Do you have that one of those gold horn pendants on or something?
Exactly.
Okay, all right, just checking.
The chain.
Astrological sign, maybe?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. All
yeah,
right.
baby. What are your thoughts on it?
Oh, man. I want to do an Austin Powers joke now. Yeah, baby. I can't do Austin Powers. Let me try to parse this a little bit. I think what you're saying, I'm guessing what you're saying, is that you're going to get a lot of attention because you're standing out from the crowd, and that can be a mixed blessing, as we know. But the point is, because you're getting more attention, it's going to be easier for you to break the ice with anyone who might spark your fancy.
Correct. Or you spark their fancy.
Right. And hopefully you have a mutual spark.
Correct.
For whether it's you're just trying to hook up, or whether you're looking for a serious relationship. If you're not just looking for a hookup, then you should try to invest more effort.
No, invest time and energy in the discussion. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm.
I think
what is in my brain is not coming out right.
I think it's basically that. Well, I think you could get a false positive sometimes, maybe. That if you're wearing a kilt, you're going to get more attention from people interested in you, and they're going to try extra hard to get your attention, and so you may not get as honest a read on what they're like, because they're trying extra hard to put on a show to get your attention.
That's a fair point.
So maybe you gotta keep your wits about you.
That's a fair point.
And I think any kind of dating situation, if you go into it, you got to keep your eyes open. You got to know what you want.
Yeah.
This is the bottom line, no matter what you're wearing. But with a kilt, I think I feel like we're in where I want to say is like, make sure you're using your powers for good. I mean,
it is a powerful thing.
It can be. It can be.
It's empowering as well. The most,
that's more important, I think.
Yes, yeah. And the most empowered. I don't know if I've ever told this story before, on air at least. But the most empowered I've ever felt wearing a kilt. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a long time ago. But I went down to see the Bogside Rogues down at Finnegan's Wake in Philadelphia. And was it the Bogside or the Hooligans? But I was standing up near the front of the stage, friends with the band, good to see them all the time. Mm-hmm. So I'm just kind of sitting up front, dancing, doing my thing, singing with the band. And a, very attractive yet drunken girl comes up and she's kind of like dancing next to me while I'm trying to enjoy the music in the band. And she's kind of like, dancing next to me, bumping into me, grinding on me a little bit. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm trying to watch the band. And I'm like, in disgust, look away from her. And the fact that she was so dejected, I just loved it. It's empowering.
Okay, but I don't know if that's using your power for good.
I'm not saying it's using it for good.
No,
I'm saying I felt empowered, like I got to make a decision in this versus not.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Indeed. I was actually really into the band. I wanted to hear the band.
I get it.
Yeah.
But you're kind of a jerk to her.
Yeah, she was drunken and annoying.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it really comes down to is we're talking about real world dealing with people.
Yeah.
And the kilt is an icebreaker and an attention getter, but it's not the be all end all of a dating situation. It's going to come down to personality no matter what. Do you click or do you not click? But I think it could be a challenge to parse out the people who are being themselves and want to get your attention and the people who are trying too hard to get your attention because of the kilt. So, it's I'm trying to think of a good parallel, but I don't know. Ian, do you have any thoughts? When in doubt, throw to the MC.
Fair.
I have been with my wife for nearly 20 years now. I'm not in the dating space very often. I don't know if the three of us in general are the best people to be answering these questions.
Fair point.
No, exactly.
And you didn't get your first kilt till after
I was with her.
You were engaged.
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay. It was for my wedding. Was for my first kilt when I came to see Rocky and have him set me straight on no longer wearing pants.
Gotcha.
I mean, certainly, I hear what you guys are saying. I've been approached in situations I probably wouldn't have been if I had been wearing pants. I don't know. I generally have a don't approach me kind of a vibe about me, I think, out in public.
Yeah, you're incredibly unfriendly.
So I'm friendly enough when I speak to people. But I think I cultivate a sense of leave me alone when I'm just at the grocery store or whatever, so I get it less than I used to. Maybe it's because I'm getting older and fatter, too.
I think that's a curmudgeonly thing, yeah.
Yes.
The curmudgeon effect.
Embrace the curmudgeonliness, Ian.
Yeah, but it's, it certainly happened. I remember one time I was at the Kilmaine Saints show in Harrisburg, and I was with a friend and two young women, too young to be quite honest. I don't know how they got in there. And this wasn't that recent, but they came up behind us, and their move, which is the opposite of what most people experience, was to try to grab the kilt from the sides and yank it down. Oh. That was never going to work.
Yeah, dumb idea.
Between the buckles and the straps and the belt, that wasn't going anywhere.
Uh-huh.
And then they tried to talk to us. I'm just like, I can't hear you. I'm turning around and paying attention to the band.
Yeah, I think, and that gets into the whole, how do you dealing with the whole just people being rude,
crossing lines,
which we've talked about before.
Yeah.
But I mean, just use your power for good.
Unlikely.
Don't think of it as a license. Think of it as it's an advantage. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an advantage.
It's not a license.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Indeed. I think we made a mess of that question.
I think we totally did. But dating is
enough.
messy, so I'm not too worried about it. I mean, your mileage is going to vary drastically.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I saw a meme once of this guy who honestly was not a very attractive individual, but he made a meme of himself, like one of those fake motivational posters, or it's and it's like black background says Kilts, the easiest way to get laid at Dragon Con, and I'm just like, really, dude? And he's kind of like this, this kind of dumpy guy wearing the kilt half on, half not what good, and he's got a cigar hanging out. He's like in this picture of himself. He's like, what are you trying to accomplish here? And it just made himself look like such a jerk. And now he's a famous jerk, and I'll probably put that image into the edited version of this show, so his fame will reach even further. It's just like, why would you do that?
The kilt only takes you so far.
Right. But it's not exactly. It's just like it doesn't. It's not going to change. It's not going to make you
it's not going to make you nice or good.
Right.
If you're a jerk or an asshole, you're still going to be a jerk or an asshole.
Yeah.
We'll bleep that out.
Or it's worse because
it empowers them, and then they feel more emboldened.
Well, and it's like, oh, the guy in the kilt who thinks he's all that, and then you're a target. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but generally they don't know that until they go up and approach and start talking that he thinks he's all that.
Mm-hmm. And then they come back and get their revenge.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Well, eye drops in the glass. Never mind.
Well, okay.
Yeah. It makes you poop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you were making some kind of other reference.
No. I
oh
wouldn't.
My God.
No.
I'm actually relieved.
Yes. I would.
Because what he put in your glass.
Yeah. I mean.
No.
Well, no. I mean, well played, but I don't get out to bars enough, or I go to bars with nice people, so I've never run into this problem.
It's a fair point. Mm-hmm. It's a fair point. Let's get out of this segment. We ask the next question and wholly avoid this one forever now.
Okay, I've got a question from Sam Chan, who's joining us from Disney World. He's been wearing his army tartan down there, and people are loving it. He wants to know, which do you prefer, a dark or a light tartan?
What do we prefer, a dark or a light colored tartan?
Yeah.
Personally,
you have to choose.
It really depends on the mood, the day, the season, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
And or how many kilts you have. If you have one kilt, two kilts, your choices are limited. If it's summertime, I'll typically go with lighter colors. I have a few, fall kind of color kilts. So I'm unintentionally yet intentionally seasonally appropriate often.
Right.
But there's no super rhyme or reason. If I have, X number of kilts, I just pick the one that strikes my fancy that morning. Mm-hmm. As I get dressed bleary-eyed in the closet,
But in your closet, how many of the tartans you've collected over the years tend to be darker versus tend to be lighter?
I would say it's actually a reasonably good mix.
Okay.
Because I've gone through evolutions and changes myself, and I like different colored things for different reasons. Like I actually had 2 Isle of Skye tartans at one point. I have none right now that fit. But I sold them. But I've liked lighter color ones at certain periods. I have my McEwen Modern, so I have darker colored ones. I have gray tone ones. I have the what's the Irish one this is an Irish one right here. The County Leitrim is what I'm wearing today. So it just depends on the mood. It's literally just that.
Okay.
But it's a good mix across the board.
Right.
So I have a lot to choose from.
Okay.
How about yourself?
I will say that I've generally preferred darker tartans because I generally prefer darker colors in general. I mean, the perfect color in my world is black. So, I have gotten more colorful over the years, but I generally tend to prefer things that are a darker tone. I like muted tartans a lot. I like the Wilson's Bannockburn colors. I like something that's very rich, kind of jewel tone, or generally darker. Not as much into ancient color palette. Weathered I like, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Agreed. Yeah. Mr. Ian, what are your feelings on tartan colors?
Jewel tones are very in, Eric, so you'll fit right in now. Yeah, right. I'm with Eric. I tend to like darks. As you can see, I'm doing black and brown, and even Kilts and Culture looks light compared to the rest of my outfit, which I wouldn't consider it a light tartan. I like a lot of deep dark maroons and crimsons. Sometimes my move when picking out a new tartan is to kind of intentionally go outside my comfort zone. Sometimes that's worked for me.
Is that why you chose the Water of Life tartan? Or no, Angel Share. The Angel Share tartan.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I first saw you in that one, that was really bright, very intense colors.
But it has brown. And I'm a big fan of
brown.
I'm a big fan of browns and earthy tones, even if they aren't always very dark.
Yeah, I'd say the brown that one definitely grounds it.
The gold, I think I was expecting to be more mustard, and it is a very bright gold. You're right.
You got to have a pumpkin-y feel with that tartan.
I do quite like that. But
sometimes
like I am the kind of person to step out of my comfort zone on purpose sometimes. Sometimes that works out for me, like it did there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wind up selling a kilt after only wearing it a handful of times, like I did with my County Crest Antrim, which I thought, it's brighter, it's bright red. I'm usually more of a maroon guy, and I'll like it, and I didn't love it.
I have no idea what that's.
Would have been better if it was in muted. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Can't all be muted.
Exactly.
Can't all
So
be muted.
I hope that helps. All right. Was that Ian? Was that?
me.
So Mr. Eric.
That was Ian. All right.
Let's ask another one that we can drive off a cliff.
No, dating's hard, man. It's complicated. It is complicated.
It is. It is. We're old and un-PC on a regular basis, so.
Okay. Steve Sanders asks us, what is the best kilt to wear while traveling? Not when you get there, but for the journey. Plane, train, or automobile. What is the best kilt for travel?
Okay. I will say this. It depends on length of time travel. It depends on where you're going, where you're coming from, and whether it's airport or not. And there's different reasons. I can rationalize any of it. So, the one mistake I think a lot of people make when they are traveling is the question that we get often is, well, do you have any kilts with no metal? Because I have to go on the airport or through the airport, and I don't want to get wanded and pulled over to the side. So I don't want to wear a kilt with any metals. In that instance, sure, the casual kilt fits the bill. Boom, done.
Right, Velcro.
I think people tend to overestimate the amount of time that is going to take. So, in your journey from home all the way through destination, you're going to be in the airport, in line, getting wanded or whatever, and or pulled out of line to get wanded for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So as long as you're not running late, it's not that big of an imposition. It's not like it's going to destroy your entire day if you're wearing a wool kilt with buckles versus a casual kilt. So I think people overestimate that 2 minutes of time when you get wanded or whatever. So the way I typically do it is if I'm in a situation where I'm concerned about my luggage being lost or the weight of my luggage, I would actually wear an 8-yard kilt or a 5-yard kilt or whatever, a wool kilt, if I'm going to bring one with me. I would wear that to go through the airport. Yes, I will probably be stopped and wanded because of the buckles. As we said before, you just kind of say, hey, look, there's buckles on the kilt. I can't take them off. They're part of the garment. If I take it off, I'm going to be naked. And generally, okay, fine. Wand. Yep, I see the buckles. All right, go ahead through. And it's not that big of a deal. The weight in the luggage, since airports, the airlines charge for the weight of your luggage.
Yeah.
Or if you put something in a checked bag and they lose it, I'd rather lose a casual kilt if I'm packing a casual and a 5-yard or a casual and an 8-yard. I'd rather lose the cheap one than the expensive one. I'll wear that. So there's a joke in here somewhere about the guy who wears like all of his clothes through the airport so he doesn't have to pack them kind of thing. I'm going in my brain. I'm going that kind of direction with it, but I'm just wearing my most expensive thing so that it's not going to get lost and screwed up.
I don't disagree. I have generally when I've traveled by air, it's been to warmer places, so I have not been taking a heavy kilt anyway. And I will say that I do prefer something lighter, like either a tweed kilt or a polyviscose kilt, something a little softer. If I'm stuck in an airplane seat for a long period of time, like a 5-hour, 6-hour flight or longer, it's just after a while sometimes the wool just feels scratchy and you feel the heat build up and it just feels bulky and a little uncomfortable because you're just so confined. It's just you're in that narrow seat. So that would be my counter argument to what you're saying. But I've worn semi-trads and 5 yards through the airport, and like you said, it's not that big a deal. I've been and you can get wanded anyway. Like I wore my old survival utility kilt. I wore it through the airport a couple times, and because of all the snaps and stuff on it, it still made the buzzers go off, and they were like, "What's all this then?" So you're right. Don't overthink it. If you're not worried about the luggage issue, then maybe a lighter kilt is going to be more comfortable for long term. So what about if you're in a car? What if it's a driving trip?
I'm going to take a half step back.
Winnebago.
he's gone to plaid. Sorry. Yeah. The half step back is a tweed kilt can be scratchier than wool. You said about scratchiness and being
Mine's
in
a
it
little
for a long
softer.
time.
It depends on the because tweed. Of the ones I own. Yeah, my
Correct.
bias.
I know you have a couple tweed kilts, and they're either soft or nicer or similar to wool.
Yeah.
Not like a Harris tweed, an outerwear heavier tweed. That would be scratchier.
Yeah.
Car ride. I would still probably end up wearing. I default to wool the majority of the time. So I would probably still wear a wool kilt. It's more about getting into the car and being comfortable while seated for a 4-hour drive than like being comfortable during the drive. As long as I get in and I'm, appropriately shimmied, and I got into the seat without like a weird bunching in a weird spot. I'm fine wearing a wool kilt or a PV kilt. It doesn't bother me that much either way. Just turn the air vent down and hold the kilt up a little bit, and you have a nice little.
I've done that actually. Yeah.
I don't know any guy who hasn't done it.
Right.
And if they say they haven't done it, they're lying.
They're lying.
Yeah.
Yep. Again, I still like, if I'm driving, even more so, I'll probably leave the good kilt. Packed, so it looks good, because then the assumption is the assumption is a lot of time the trip is going somewhere where there'll be a combination of casual and nice activities, like going out to see my family in Arizona, like we used to. I would have, a kilt that would be a nice kilt for when we went out to dinner, and I'd have the beat it up hiking around in the desert kind of stuff. In which case, again, utility kilt. So I'd prefer to drive in a utility kilt or a PV kilt. So I guess we just agree to disagree on this one, because I really like the lighter fabric if I'm in any kind of seat. Come to think of it, really, including driving.
Yeah, we're not disagreeing. I don't care. It doesn't move the needle for me either way. If I haven't worn a utility kilt for years, but back when I did, I wouldn't think about like, I should wear this for driving and that for I would just wear whatever I'm wearing. Boom, that's what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
So I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. How's that?
It's very political of you.
Thank you.
Rocky Rager for office.
It's difficult bouncing on this fence.
You're right.
All right.
Mugwump.
Mr. Ian.
So I've got a question here from John Anderson, no relation. I believe, if memory serves me correctly, he's coming at us from the UP. I have several premier 8-yard kilts from you guys. I wear them daily due to medical reasons. Deer season is over, and I have blood all over my Black Watch tartan.
Oh, dude.
Any ideas on how to clean it up?
So, first, UP, Upper Peninsula,
Correct.
Michigan. Okay, fair.
That's what I meant.
Happy I got that reference.
This is a wool Black Watch kilt that he went hunting in, and he dressed the deer in the kilt?
That is what the context implies, yes. I figure this is a question you guys haven't gotten, at least not this way.
I don't want to judge, but I think a garbage bag would have been a great idea, just to put on as a quick apron before you dress the deer, but that's just me.
That sounds
that
like
help now.
That sounds like
a little late now. Yeah.
Poor life decision there, buddy.
We were such jerks. No, I think
if he was sitting here and he was my friend, I would say the same thing.
I think maybe if it's a kilt that you're worried about getting the blood out of in the first place, then maybe some kind of a tool, like something you can wear while you're doing the field dressing would be a good idea. And honestly, just like a lawn and leaf bag is all you need to do. Just stuff it in your pack. But I'm just blue skying on this, but it's a little late to get the blood out, isn't it? I mean, it's
don't
easier
know.
the closer to the time, right?
Correct. And I don't know. I don't want to say something and be wrong, so I won't. Consult the interwebs for a better launderer than I. But I think, I forget whether warm sets it or cold sets blood, like stains or whatever.
Warm, I think, sets it.
Okay. Then I would wet wash the kilt in a bathtub on whatever, or with whatever temperature water you're supposed to do for not setting in stains. I think you're right. Don't quote us. Right. Do your research. Don't listen to me. But I would wet wash the kilt in there to kind of let it go and let it kind of release some of the stuff, either with woolite or whatever, in the bathtub. Not agitate it, not go crazy, but just kind of like dunk it, let it soak, and let it naturally kind of come out.
I would spot treat with Woolite or some other specialized detergent, and let that set for a while. Because I guess spot treating basically you want the surfactant to interact with the material for a while, like overnight even, and then do a cold soak and a gentle wash, hand wash, is probably going to be your best bet. Woolite is still one of our go-tos.
OxyClean, probably.
OxyClean is okay. My wife and I we've recently switched to Norwex products, which are these high-tech, eco-friendly products coming, oddly enough, from Norway, hence the name. And their detergent is really good. It's very strong, and I had to take some stains out of... it wasn't a kilt, it was a tablecloth for the holidays, actually, Thanksgiving. Worked like a champ. It was, gone. So, definitely make sure you have a good recommended detergent. This is common sense, I guess, is all I'm saying. But I think cold is definitely the way to go, and spot treating first.
Yeah. I would say 2 other things. One, luckily it's black watch, so it's darker, so you're going to see it a little bit less. If the stains don't come out, you now have your permanent hunting kilt where you don't care if it gets messed up because it's already messed up.
Part of me is hoping it's a great kilt so you can just fold it differently and then nobody will see it. I mean, alternately, it's the blood of your enemy's kilt. This is the battle kilt. This is the one you tell
really
stories
hated
about.
Bambi. Bambi was an evil opponent.
Similar to your point, Eric.
He killed 50 Germans in the West. He knows no rest.
Mac is chiming in from the cheap seats. He says the blood stays on the kilt.
Right? The blood stays on the razor.
Several folks are chiming
you,
in, commenting on the peroxide comment, concerned that won't that bleach or take away color from the kilt.
Peroxide
suggesting
won't.
No, it won't.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I don't know that Woolite or any of those things actually use a peroxide anyway. OxyClean.
OxyClean is... don't know.
I've never heard anybody complain about OxyClean being damaging to color. So
but some comments here have suggested try it on the back of the under apron or something.
That is always a good idea.
Yes.
Thank you guys. Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah, do a test.
Yes.
Do a test wash first.
If you ever have to try to get a stain or anything out of a kilt and you're concerned about the agent that you are using bleaching or messing up the colors in your kilt, basically lay it out. Find the under apron, the bottom edge or the far side of the under apron of the kilt that is going to be covered up. You will never see. And then, basically test it on there first. That is absolutely the best idea. Do not just go ahead and go.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Use the under apron.
And obviously, if you're going hunting, take a swatch with you and then just soak the swatch in the deer blood and then take it home and you can use that as a test. So. What? Perfectly logical.
Fair.
Blood is a tough one. It's like blood and motor oil, I guess, are the worst. So.
Yep. That's why you get a solid black kilt.
Yeah.
Black shirt won't show no blood.
I would just splatter more blood on it and be like a nice camo pattern.
Or like a Pollock painting. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Blood Pollock. All right. This is a weird day today.
Yeah. It's got a bit morbid. It's fine. A lot of death.
Death to our dating history, at least, yeah. I'm not getting any dates anymore. Now. Yeah.
I have no dating anymore.
Oh boy, we're just date.
I am happily
just datehead.
Yeah. That's true.
It is my turn, right? Yeah, it's my turn. Okay,
sure.
So, Jeremy Harshman.
Good old Jeremy Harshman.
German. He's a harsh man.
Oh.
You probably get that joke all the time, guy. Was asking, what are the best kilts to wear when you are competing in Highland athletics?
Highland athletics.
Highland games, Highland athletics. What's the best option for that?
I'm pouring a little bit more of the Glenlivet for myself.
It did sweeten up a little bit.
It did?
And a little rest time. I got. It's a little sweeter.
Fair. Best kilt for Highland games.
Yeah, it's definitely better now.
Yeah, the obvious answer, to us at least, is the casual kilt. It's a polyviscose, I'd say casual kilt or less expensive kilt. Yeah. I won't even go like our brand. I will, but I won't. You're gonna be throwing telephone poles. You're gonna be muddy. You're gonna have rocks. You're gonna have resin. You're gonna have hand chalk and that kind of stuff. So it's going to get dirty. So for us, it's the casual kilt, polyviscose. It's Teflon coated. You don't have to worry about it. You can throw it in the washing machine.
Yeah.
If you have A wool kilt, perhaps one that you've gone hunting in and killed a deer and have blood all over the front of it. Maybe that gets resigned to your Highland Athletics kilt. You want to be able a free range of motion in it. So a wool. I'm trying to think like wool kilt worn up higher. Is that going to help?
Yeah, I don't think it would.
It won't help or hinder. It's kind of like a weight belt. It goes around the middle to help a little bit. So yeah, generally just something that's machine washable and beat upable.
Yeah,
that's a word. Beat upable.
Yeah, I think honestly most athletes I've encountered definitely go for a low end kilt. Yeah. I mean, and some of them just because it's a formality for them because they're into the sport for the sport. Other guys are super into a clan history they have or something, and so they invest in a kilt that represents their clan Tartan and all that good stuff. So it's going to vary from person to person. But I think, the polyviscose is better. Lightweight is better. I'm trying to think if there's an instance where you want wool over PV, and I'm not really thinking of any.
No, so, I don't think it gives you an advantage.
You could do it. No. But then if you did want wool, I'd probably go with a 5-yard, not a full 8-yard.
Yeah.
A little easier to wear, potentially, on a hot summer day or hot festival day.
Here's what I wouldn't do. I would not do a gray kilt.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's too much going on, too many things to potentially get in the way. It's nope.
Yep.
I don't think we've ever considered it.
I've never seen anybody do it.
Unlike like in the movie Braveheart or something like that, but it's not something that people would do or should do.
Mm-hmm.
So
hashtag remake Braveheart. No, I'm serious about this. I did a post a couple weeks ago where I and the thing I asked people was, do you think they should remake Braveheart? And most people were like, hell yeah. Make a more historically accurate version of Braveheart.
I could see it. Mm-hmm. But then it would be missing the kilts. It'd be missing the blue face paint. Not that that's a big of a deal.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man.
See, there's still a weird balance. We're getting way off topic.
I know.
There's a weird balance between entertaining and historically accurate, or a good story and historically accurate. It could be historically accurate and entertaining, but okay. Yeah, sure, I'm on board. You have my endorsement, sir.
Thanks, Rocky. Welcome aboard.
No, hold on,
There, we got that.
We still have to screen cap that.
Oh, I will. I will. That's gonna be the thumbnail for this show. But yeah, I would say keep it cheap, keep it simple. Yeah. Don't worry about it. I would argue this: make it something you can budget so you can have more than one. I think having a kilt and having a backup for the weekend is probably a good idea.
I would also say this. Let's take it half a step further.
Okay.
I wouldn't worry about a Sporran or kilt hose.
No, I don't think most of them do.
Yeah. I agree. I'm just putting it on wax.
Or you might wear a Sporran, but you're not wearing it when you're actually competing. It's just, it's off on the side of the field until you go to get a sandwich.
Exactly.
But
that's it.
Yep.
That's all I got.
Wash day.
Exactly. All right. Who was that?
That was
you?
That was me.
Mr. Ian.
So I've got a different but related question to Highland Games. This is from David Bright. It says, first, you guys are awesome. Second, I know there's not exactly rules governing this.
Good God.
You stole my move.
I started first. Let's play back the tape.
Okay.
Wow, wow, wow. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay.
Try again, Ian. Try again.
Second, I know there's not exactly rules governing this, but does wearing a jacket and or waistcoat as a spectator at the Highland Games come off as overdressed?
I don't think so.
Depends on the color of jacket.
Yeah. To some degree.
Depends on the color of jacket, and I would also say in America, for the most part, yes, but you do you. It's overdressed because, I'd say this, it's overdressed because 99.8% of the people are going to have on t-shirts and shorts or a t-shirt and a kilt or whatever.
Yeah.
So yes, you are dressed better than them. That shouldn't stop you. It's better to be overdressed than underdressed.
Yeah.
It also depends on the temperature of the day. If the sun's beating down, there's no shade, and it's 98 degrees, there's no way in hell you're going to catch me in a tweed jacket and vest.
Right.
That being said, the tweed jacket and vest would be the right type of jacket and vest to wear for day wear.
Right.
Not an Argyle, not a Prince Charlie or anything like that.
Right.
It's something much more, smart.
Prince Charlie? Down. Where'd that come from?
We've seen some weird stuff at festivals.
I guess. I don't remember the last time I saw someone wearing a PC at a festival. But
your buddy. The Darth Vader dude. Wasn't he wearing an Argyle jacket and vest with the ruche tie and stuff at the festival?
Oh, well, that's different, though. It's not PC. Not Prince Charlie.
But it was all like dressed to the nines.
Okay, but he's like a quasi-goth. So
I understand, but the point is, it's like uber dressed up for an outdoor. And I'm not picking on the guy. He's a nice guy.
He's also a cop, so watch it.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah, no, you do you, as a wise friend of mine once said. I would avoid a straight-up black Argyle because, A, it's going to be hot, and B, you don't want to be in an awkward place where somebody thinks you're a judge or something. And a lot of time that's become like a de facto uniform for people who are judging competitions, at least in Scotland, not so much here. But I would avoid that. You don't want to look like you're an official, or you don't want to look like you're in a band necessarily. Maybe that doesn't matter. I may be overthinking it. But I think tweeds would be great. I'm a big proponent of just a tweed vest and not a jacket. It looks nice, but also casual. You know, it's kind of a sharp day wear kind of an option. Like
jazz hands, Ian. Jazz hands.
So,
Hold on. Ready?
Ready? Okay.
Off
all kinds of screen
Exactly,
caps.
yes.
This is a weird. It's 2022, folks.
Gift.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
But no, I've definitely seen people who have been dressed nice at festivals, and I don't mean over the top. I just mean doing it right. And honestly, I think it's kind of a service because, as you just said, there's so many people who are just in t-shirts and jeans, you know, just kind of like default, bare bones. It's gonna be hot. That's all I want to wear. Kind of, you know, I'm here to party with my meter of beer. Woo, you know, kind of outfit. Do us all a favor and show people what this stuff actually is supposed to be like. You know, I mean, go for it. I think people actually appreciate it. Is what I'm saying. I think when they see one, it's like, wow, that dude looks sharp.
Yes.
You know,
You're inspiring people.
right?
So you said it as I was thinking it, and it was just like, yes, inspiring someone else to aspire to that, to look at it and go like, wow, like that looks really good. And once that clicks in their brain, you're like, okay, I can do this more often. I can dress nicer in this. That's how it's supposed to be.
I would say, just dress how you want, but not to the point of being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Is the bottom line. And I would say you can look really sharp without doing the jacket also. I've seen people at fall events where they're doing the Aran sweater in a kilt, and it looks so much better than other things you see out there. I mean, I will wear a t-shirt and a kilt all the time, but if I want to look nice, I will do something else. So I mean, there's a number of ways to do it. Enjoy it. I mean, you're in a place where people are. It's the audience made to order for doing this kind of thing, and then being guaranteed you're going to have people who appreciate it and you feel like you fit in perfectly. So why not?
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
Agreed.
So,
cheers. Good on you.
Cheers. Sláinte.
All right. Yeah, Sláinte. Mr. Eric.
Okay.
This is a lot mellower. The second glass is just kind of like.
I know. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It tapered off really fast.
Yeah.
I might need a little more.
Just say when.
Alex Chittenden, again, as always, please, I apologize if I mispronounce your name. Alex asked, is USA Kilts developing any new or exclusive tartans? This is about us, so it's not the kind of thing we usually answer, but do we have any special plans for 2022, I guess is what it comes down to.
Yeah. One of the things we have kind of thought about doing and kind of toying with the idea of coming out with some limited edition or some kind of like group order tartans on a quasi-regular basis, just to keep things interesting and fun, and give you guys something to play around with and us something to play around with.
Yeah, that's what it really is.
Ian, bring yourself in on the camera there for a sec. So I will make an announcement. This actually was a question. This is not just a product plug, so I apologize if you think it is. I'm not. There is a file there. Tartan 1 is what it's called,
It's
or
called
something?
Tartan 1.
Yes. Okay. Bring that up on the screen. This is the dun-dun-dun tartan that we will be releasing.
Bring it up on Still Store,
on the
Cambot.
website today.
Oh. You're not teasing me, are you, Rocky?
Ba-ba-ba.
Ian.
I thought we talked about doing a different one next.
We did.
Don't tease me.
Ian, I'm playing with your emotions.
Wait, is the color off on that? It looks kind of dark to me. Is that?
Yes, indeed. We will be doing the Celtic Nations muted tartan, the long sought after by Ian. He's doing a mini
Happy
weird
dance.
It's an awkward happy dance, but it's a happy dance. Check out over there. I actually put it up on the website already. We're going to be making the announcement in our Facebook group. Momentarily. Basically, as soon as the show's over. We're going to be doing a pre-order for this one. Limited edition run, once and done. That's it. If you want it, get in. We're going to be trying to do a few of these just for fun. So, Celtic Nations Muted. Now, the photo down here, that is a physical printout from the mill of the CAD drawing. So I monkeyed around with the colors to try to make it look accurate, but it's going to be House of Edgar's standard muted color palette. So be on the lookout for that. That is available essentially now. Look on the website, search on Celtic Nations Muted. And it will be available through the end of January. I think we're closing pre-orders on January 31st. So if you want it, speak now or forever hold your peace.
It's just so beautiful.
Make it your your Burns Night gift to yourself. Doing the pre-order, not getting killed.
Exactly.
I think we have Adam in the tech room could probably put it up on the group for us now. In fact, if he wants to, if he's got the time, I know he's out there doing stuff. But that's.
Ian, do you have a link to it on the website?
I do. I just found it. You said it was up there. I'm like, take my money. Where do I go?
He's already shopping.
I'm just doing my shopping while you guys are talking. I'm just mostly ignoring.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, Ian's salary. Funny fact: Ian's salary is actually just store credit. His wife is very disappointed, but he's a happy man.
It's amazing how many people that works for, though. Yeah, if you put that in the comments for people.
I did.
Yeah.
It should be popping up soon for everybody.
Awesome, boys and girls. So, yes, indeed. If you want that, speak now or soon or forever hold your peace.
Now, will there be anything else in 2022 that we know of yet? I know it's early. But with the trying to do a limited run, ideally every quarter, we'd like to do something.
Quarter or third.
Or third,
not
yeah.
Sure how much.
It depends on that. Depends on how things go otherwise. But is there anything else on the horizon that we would that we know about or want to tip our hand about?
Not really want to tip the hand.
Okay.
I want to keep it secret.
Okay, but watch this space.
Indeed.
Yep.
They'll find out soon enough.
I'm happy that this is happening this early, honestly.
Yes.
I mean, the last couple of years have been so weird for reasons. So it's just the fact that we're able to hit the ground running this year with this project is awesome.
Yep.
So,
we are trying. We are not organized individuals. He and I are probably the least organized people I know.
Yeah.
But we are trying. Here's the 8-ball, and here's us trying to get in front of it, doing our best.
We're trying to hire people to help us be organized. We got Matt over here. He's our you'd have to lean in on Ian's camera and say like. He's
got a lot of leaning to do.
You can do it.
Those headphones.
There he is.
I don't know if I'm in.
Hello, folks. Yep, that's
The
Matt.
headphones.
He's one of our newest. Well, he is the newest videographer on the team, and he's also a whiz with a spreadsheet, and I'm so grateful. So.
May I also say, totes adorbs.
Yeah.
The spreadsheets are
A little of both.
okay. It's also nice to have an Irish guy on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matty O'Toole.
Yep.
Yeah. Indeed. That was a joke from last show.
I will tip my hand. I'm going to tip our hand a little bit about something we are coming up with soon. We have several things coming up for the St. Patrick's Day season. We're already thinking about that because that's what you have to do. And we might be doing a movie-related project in the next few weeks that we will let you guys join in on.
An Irish movie.
An Irish movie that you might have heard of.
Yes.
Before we move on to other projects too quickly, we have a lot of questions about whether the Celtic Nations Muted is going to be wool or PV.
It is wool.
Wool.
Only.
It is only available in wool, correct. Yes, period. I'll just stop there. It is House of Edgar, 13-ounce wool. It is, they are the ones who came up with, for lack of a better term, the muted color palette. They are the ones who have, in my mind, perfected it. I am using their standard color palette. I'm not, going crazy yellow or crazy green. It is exactly what they offer for everything else. It is going to be very, very nice. Ian has been bugging me for long enough. I have finally decided to let him have his way.
I think that original CAD design. No, I think it was more. Maybe I think the CAD design was
2016.
Was it 2016? Okay,
Holy
about
cats.
5 years then.
Yep.
5 to 6.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Celtic Nations was 2011. That's when I registered it, and the muted was 2016. Was the CAD.
Okay.
His date on it.
And yet he didn't have the sense to do it then. I don't know. I can't.
You gotta build up anticipation.
You have to wait for the right moment.
Whether it's customers or employees, you have to make them suffer a little bit. Yeah.
Where's your sense of theater?
Do you have 1 or 2 comments saying that they like the original better?
All right, forget it.
It's off.
Cancel.
It's off.
That's
Cancel
it.
it all.
No!
It's like so close. No.
I'll leave room for Spirit of the Dragon. Spirit of the Dragon tartan. Ask me about it in the comments. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you with this tartan. It's my turn. Ian's been the gadfly for years. Now it's my turn.
It took him 6 years, and you just started talking about this
quote,
last
to
year.
quote Skeletor, everything comes to those who wait. And I have waited for so very long.
Is that a Skeletor quote?
Yes.
That's pretty spectacular.
Well, yeah.
G.I. Joe. Geez. He-Man, very insightful cartoon ahead of its time. Does not hold up well. Oh my God! Watching old G.I. Joe or old He-Man stuff,
of those
like
hold
the
up well.
freeze frames and the recycling of they put zero effort.
Rabbit
into
hole.
it. I don't care. He-Man, do better.
We should do a whole show about cartoons someday. We'll just do
I agree.
Yeah, that's on.
Nothing on.
That's
topic.
on voice.
Don't care.
That's Celtic.
Don't care. I
All
like
right.
cartoons.
Okay.
All right, Ian. Next question.
Before we get to our midway point of the show, the question that I've been ignoring that so many people have been asking, but I'll go to Mark Fannon's. Oh, wrong spot. Yeah, or Michael Kenny. I'm sorry. He had asked, "What is Rocky's tartan?" We never shared what tartans we're wearing.
I did. I said it earlier.
Did you?
When we talked about the colors.
It's kind of off the cuff.
Yes,
you did. Yeah.
I did. I slipped it in there. This is the County Leitrim tartan from House of Edgar, 13 ounce. It is a beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Beautiful Irish tartan.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Mr. Eric, what lovely,
I
spectacular, manly, masculine, badass
You may have never seen this one before. This is a rarity. This is called Kilts and Culture.
What are you, Russian?
Yeah, that's Vidania. Kilts and Culture. This is the official tartan of the group, and then became the official tartan of the show. Designed by this guy, and Ian, what are you wearing today?
I'm scandalized. We've shown up to the ball in the same dress. As you can see here, I can see my tie. I'm wearing the matching tie.
He's got
here.
the matching, and he's got the matching kilt. Take our word for it.
Yep. So we are matching today.
Twinsies.
Yes.
It's kind of like we're your minions anyway.
We drink the Kool-Aid here.
Yeah.
I'm going to paint you yellow and put a jumpsuit on you.
Minion tartan.
Exactly.
Sterling yellow would work for that. Or you know what else tartan would work for that? For you want to do a minion outfit? Spirit of the Dragon.
I was going to say Oakley, but fine.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yep.
All right. Ian, what do we have next?
Hey, it's that time again. Our ambassador this month is the one and only of Massachusetts bearing Bob Cameron. Bob is a gentleman who has been piping for ages. Although, interestingly enough, when I talked to him, I found out that his first instrument was the tuba. He received a chanter from his father as a gift when he was younger, but he just kind of noodled with it, as he put it. But he went to school for music education and has a music degree and an MBA. But he started out life doing tuba for jazz bands and brass ensembles and stuff like that. Despite having the chanter, which was given to him as a gift when he was in college, he didn't get into piping until much later. He got conned into being. He kind of got conned into being a steward for the Highland Games at Castle Hill in Ipswich, Massachusetts. Anybody who knows those games, let me know. Back in 1979, and he went there to compete in the Highland Games. He was getting into Highland athletics, so he did like sheaf toss and stuff. And then he decided he was going to go for Highland athletics, so he got his first kilt shortly after that. And the guy who hooked him up with the kilt, if I remember correctly, also conned him. Yeah, he met a guy who was going to get him a kilt, who ran an import shop, and this guy conned him into being a steward for the Loon Mountain Games. And so Bob became a steward for the Loon Mountain Games. And this guy told him, "Yeah, I need help. I need a steward for our team." Turned out he was the only steward for the games. He somehow survived and kept on volunteering for the games after that. But he met through those games a guy who taught Gaelic and also the pipes. and Bob is a polyglot. His ancestry is a mix. He's a Cameron, of course, but he's got Beaton, McGillivray, MacDonald, and through the Cape Breton side, he's got Joyce and Kelly from Galway, and also he's got some English, French, and German roots. And he speaks some he speaks French and German and has studied Gaelic. The guy's fascinating. He's an artist for sure.
So no culture at all.
No culture at all. None. But his main passion is the pipes, to the point where he is a music composer, and has a volume of 100 tunes he's written, which is currently available on the www.bagpipemusic.com, which is a website some of you probably know. It's done by a guy named Jack Lee. And in addition to those tunes, he's got probably enough for another 2 volumes, he says. He is incredibly prolific, very talented, and has enjoyed doing his piping exclusively since he retired back in, I think he said 2010. So he went from being a music teacher and a computer nerd to full-time piper and sometime lyrical tenor singer. And I can prove to you how cool a composer he is, because one of the things he did most recently was to compose an official march for the Kilts and Culture group. We now have our own official march, thanks to Bob, which is amazing. And I think we have a short sample of it for you guys to hear right now, if you would like to. So, Ian, could you bring that up? Ta-da!
He's awesome.
Awesome, right?
Yeah. The fact that somebody composed a song for our Facebook group and that kind of stuff, it's just it's awesome. Shows what awesome people we have. I'm using the word awesome a lot, but shows what talented and awesome people that we have in the group and out there wearing kilts.
I think it shows the diversity of talents and things you can get into with this too, because he also does highland dancing, or Scotch country dancing. That's how he met his wife. His son is a reenactor, and by the way, Bob made his son his first kilt for use for reenacting. Jeez. Now his son makes his own gear for.
Does Bob need a job?
I don't think he wants a job. I think he's kind of enjoying his life. But yeah, very talented, multi-talented gentleman, and genuinely a nice guy. He's on the group. Give him a shout out and thank him. And we will make sure that there's a full version. We do have a full recording of the song, and he was going to make the sheet music available to us also. So this is a huge gift to everybody in the group, and I am incredibly grateful. So,
absolutely.
And yeah, go thou and do likewise, everybody.
To Bob.
To Bob. Slanchava.
I do want to talk to Bob about his music video abilities, but outside of that,
we could do a video for him if you ever wanted one. I'd film something for him if he wanted to promote his piping.
Okay, follow me with this. Bob's March. We obviously need a drummer for it, but we are going to recreate the Tawny Katane White Snake video, Hood of the Camaro. No, set the bagpipe music. I'm going to put you in a red wig.
This is why we can't have nice things. I'm talking about a dignified Gallic gentleman who has done us a service, and you're bringing up Whitesnake videos? As my mother would say, your soul is filled with unwashed socks.
And yet another recently deceased, the celebrity.
Who, Tawny Katane, or really?
Like 2 months ago.
Bob, I'm sorry.
We did get confirmation that was the bassist of ZZ Top that passed last summer.
Okay.
Yes.
From the conversation much earlier.
Yes, his beard is enshrined. I thought we were done the Bob segment. I was just leavening the loaf.
Yes, no, I think we should record a video for him. Just a bit of trivia about the song. He actually, when he writes tunes, he usually uses a mnemonic, however you say it, mnemonic device as the key for how he comes up with the notes. I think he's got to be a math genius, one of those people who just the math
savant or whatever.
Yeah, because the mnemonic that actually is behind the note progression in the tune for Kilts and Culture is Kilts and Culture. It's live on the internet. Haven't you seen it yet? You really should. I have no idea how you translate that into musical notes as a mnemonic, but apparently that was the inspiration for the creation of the tune.
So it's the show as well as the group.
Yeah.
I'm even more.
Yeah. Well, both are on the internet.
Get me right here.
Yeah. By the way, his advice to you, if you want to get into playing the pipes, is don't spend money on pipes at first. Some people still apparently will dive in and try and buy a whole set of pipes right at the get-go. Get yourself a chanter, find yourself a good teacher, and commit to daily practice. It sounds simple, but it's that kind of thing that people just don't absorb.
They get too excited about it. I understand. You get excited. You go all in. I have money. I want to throw money at it and have fun. I had the best set of pipes ever. Yep. You need to practice and get better first.
Yeah.
And then
his point was it's about focus and putting the regular time in for practice.
Yeah.
But the music, the language, all that's his passion, and he's passing it on.
Nice.
Oh yeah, his son also pipes also. So
you better.
Yeah. Right.
Growing up with a dad like that, heck yeah. All right, Mr. Eric, you are next with the questions.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I have a lot of questions.
Don't we all?
Okay. Alex Chittenden asked us, are there times when wearing a kilt that one should not or would not need or want to utilize all the accessories? Which might be a common sense thing, but are there times when you should, even if you're wearing the kilt, should you just avoid other stuff, all the other stuff?
It's form follows function / the activity that you're doing. I tend to wear kilt pins less often. So if I'm doing something where I could get it caught on something, I might leave it off just as a don't need it right now. If I'm wearing a Sporran, if I'm driving somewhere, I will, or if I'm going to be sitting all day at my desk, I will probably leave my Sporran off. And then when I'm getting ready to, a customer comes in the store, I have to help, I'll throw my Sporran on then. Or if I'm going across the street to Wawa, or if I'm going to, some event, or if I'm going to be driving, I'll leave it off until I get there, then I'll put it on. So it's more of a comfort thing for me, and it's not much more than that. Everything else I'll have on. Jacket, again, driving, I'll probably leave it in the back, but I would do that the same like wearing a suit jacket. I would hang it up and then put it on when I get there.
Yeah.
So
I agree. It's pretty much common sense. I think the more decorative it is, the more it's just decorative. Obviously, the more likely it is you're going to drop it. I've said several times I used to not wear kilt pins very often. I love kilt pins. They're fun. But I used to not wear them around the shop because I was vacuuming, especially back when we had a carpeted production room. Holy cats, that was horrible.
Yep.
Vacuuming the production room with all the threads. The line, the cable for the vacuum would get caught on the pin all the time. So I was just like, I'm going to ruin my kilt if I keep this on. So bye-bye kilt pin. I've occasionally worn kilt hose without flashes, just because it's like I wanted some warm socks, but I wasn't concerned about how they look. The Sporran is always easy to, don and doff, to use the old terms, if you want to. So I don't know there are very many times where I've gone without a Sporran. But I think there are definitely times when the belt is mostly optional. You really don't need to have the belt on. The kilt pin is absolutely just a luxury item.
Superfluous, yeah.
Yeah, superfluous. So yeah, basically, temperature has a lot to do with it for me, and level of physical activity.
The only time,
just like clothing in general,
Sorry, the only time I would say not to wear a Sporran is Highland athletics. If you're going to be doing something that physical, and it's not like you don't need to carry your stuff, you can leave it off to the side. I would not have a Sporran on. 99.9% of the time, if I'm going out and doing something, this is where you keep your stuff, so you need it.
Yeah. At the same time, we there was a discussion on the group a while back, not that long ago, about for those who hike, do you use a Sporran or not? And you're nodding your head, and a lot of us were kind of like, nah, I don't bother with a Sporran if I'm hiking.
My next question was from the person who brought up that group, or brought up that question in the group.
Cool.
Because this is related to what you're saying. Kurt Kinnaman, who posted in the group, had also asked today, what are some pointers you outdoorsy fellas would offer for outdoor adventures in a kilt, hiking, camping, etc.?
Should we call that our next question? We're just going to roll right into our next question?
Yeah, because it is related. Obviously, you might not want all of these accessories when hiking. So
it won't be a nice clean clip for the Facebook.
We can do it now. We can say,
I retract it.
Too late.
Just no. You see,
now we're into it.
What you have to do from a professional standpoint. Sorry, Mac, you're not here. Is to repeat it, and it's like
it's tough to find good help, Mac.
Kirk Kinnaman asks. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and go.
Kirk Kinnaman.
Hey, Ian, what's our next question? Ian, do we have another question? Is there anyone out there, maybe somebody named Kirk, who has a question for us?
Take 4. Kirk Kinnaman asks, what are some pointers you outdoorsy fellas would offer for outdoor adventures in a kilt, hiking, camping, etc.?
Mm-hmm.
I would say minimize the accessories. Oh, this is so unnatural now.
Kirk, you've ruined the show.
Damn it, Kirk.
Wait, let me try.
Kirk.
As we've discussed in the past, the number of accessories you need kind of depends on what you're doing. And you may find that while you want to dress up a lot in the city, the more of an activity that you do that's physical and out in the nature, the fewer accessories you're going to have. There's almost an inverse proportion between physical activity and accessories.
Can I also just say that I love the fact that I have Captain Kirk as a co-pilot on the show?
Anytime.
Indeed.
I've never been able to do Shatner, I don't think.
It was close right there.
Was
dude.
it really?
Oh, you had a lot of pauses. It was great.
I need more scotch.
Indeed.
Here, hit me.
Here you go.
Thank you. But yeah, basically, in all seriousness, a lot of people, as has been discussed on the group, will dispense with a Sporran when hiking because you don't want the pressure, you don't want the rubbing.
And if you have a backpack, you don't need it.
Exactly. All your gear is going into your pack a lot of times.
Especially
so
if you got those saddle bags that are
if you
easily
got
accessible.
if you got the side bags, I don't. But
now I would say this: if you have while you're hiking, if you want quick access, let's say you're hiking in a traditional kilt, we're starting from there. If you have things that you want quick access to, whether it's a multi-tool, whether it's a lighter, whether it's a granola bar, whatever it is, and you don't want to have to stop and take off the pack to be able to grab stuff, or well, I guess you wouldn't put your sunglasses in your Sporran, but if you don't want to take off your backpack and you just want quick access to something, a Sporran is a good option. I might put it off to the side a little bit, potentially.
if it's a day hike, I think that's more likely.
Yeah.
The longer you're going to be out, I think the more of a hassle it is.
Yeah, I think my answer to this would be it depends on what hiking means to you. Obviously, a lot of people approach it from very different serious levels.
Yeah, and I'm more of a day hiker.
Yeah,
to be
some
honest.
people will grab a water bottle and walk out into the woods for 2 miles. Sporran might be handy, but yeah, if you've got the 60 liter, that's a crazy amount, but a huge pack, and you've got the saddlebags with the access, and you've got all this stuff, and you've got your hiking poles, a Sporran's a little superfluous.
It is definitely superfluous.
If you're carrying a fish tank on your back while hiking, sure, there's no weight
You are aware that packs are measured in liters.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
I think I overshot the number, but yeah.
Just a bit. Yeah, so basically, I would say skin do is another thing that I think some people think like, oh, I'm going outside, I want to have my real functional skin do with me. I find it just a pain having it down there in my sock and everything if I'm hiking over any kind of a rough ground. Right, I just find it annoying, and maybe it's just the way my legs are, but it's just either you have to have a garter of some kind to keep it from falling out of the sock in the first place, and then that pressure on your leg I find uncomfortable. So I'd much rather have I have a small knife and I have a large knife, and I'll have those in the pack or something. It really is minimal, and I think that's kind of the point. Is the more you're out doing a hiking kind of a thing, the more you're minimalized. The kilt is allowing you to minimalize and have freedom of movement. So any accessories that we would normally think of as like daily wear kilt accessories have the potential of limiting that functionality for you in a wilderness environment. So it's more likely you're just going to want to not worry about it.
Yeah, if you're in the woods, you don't need to impress anybody. So flashes mean little to nothing to the squirrel. So it's very, very much, I say it, and I say it often enough, form follows function. If you are out there, you only carry the things that you are going to need on that day, on that hike, whatever. So whatever fits in the backpack, whatever fits on your person. If you don't like wearing a skin do, I wouldn't wear a skin do, maybe a boot knife, but that might bother you. You may not be a boot knife type guy, but then you can maybe tuck it onto the strap on your kilt, or you just carry it in your pack, or whatever you got to do.
Yeah,
it's all about comfort and making sure it's a successful day in the way you want it to be successful.
Yeah, I think the you'll hate me for saying this, but I actually do like the nylon survival Sporran for things like this. For a day hike.
I thought you were going to say sandals. Oh,
no, buckle brogues. I was hiking buckle brogues. The nylon tactical Sporran, I think, on a strap, not a chain, is kind of cool for light hiking. Again, it's let's face it, it's a stylish fanny pack. But it does the job.
Stylish.
Yeah, it does the job. I like it for that. Leather. No, I wouldn't use a leather Sporran out in the woods. Just like
it's more about weight too.
It's more weight, and it's more just when it gets wet and stuff. It's kind of yeah. I don't think I have any other major thoughts. I will say there's one accessory that a lot of people don't own, but I think is worth considering that is part of Highland wear, which is great in the woods, is a bonnet. The Scottish bonnet, the traditional beret-like big flat mushroom hat, is actually really damn handy.
Especially colder weather.
Yeah, for cold weather. I'm thinking fall and winter hiking.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's a really good thing. It's traditional and also really cool. So that's one piece I would add on. And kilt hose are okay for good wool. Kilt hose are okay for day hiking. If you want wool socks, they can't replace proper hiking socks. But does that make sense?
Yeah.
But yeah, just keep it simple. Keep it minimal. Like that guy in Platoon. That scene where he's like, you don't need this, and you won't need that, and you won't need that. It's kind of like that. Just don't get shot by anybody in a helicopter.
So we've talked a bit about removing some items you might traditionally wear with your kilt. One thing I might consider adding, based on an experience that a friend of mine had this past fall, is maybe consider not going regimental when you're going hiking. My friend did get a tick in an uncomfortable place, and due to improper removal of the tick, did develop Lyme's disease. So
I think I know who this friend is.
Yes. It was fine.
It's actually not Ian.
No, it isn't.
Just so you guys know, this is not the asking for a friend thing.
Caught early, he's fine. But
good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think going regimental can be fantastic in the right environment. It is very comfortable and very
certainly know your environment.
It's breezy. Yes, you get to know your environment.
If you're in the Arizona desert, maybe ticks aren't as much of a concern.
Yeah, but scorpions are.
Do they often get up your kilt, though?
No, but you know what it is? It's
so you're hiking, Robert, if you get scorpions up your kilt.
Right on the thigh.
You know what? You never know where there's going to be thorns and stuff out west. So it's not like you're going to get a cactus up your kilt. But if you want to sit down, and some of us, when you sit down in a kilt and you're regimental, things kind of go over the hem of the kilt a bit. That can become incredibly problematic.
Braggart.
If you're out, it's just the way the kilts are built. I don't know. But you don't.
I apologize.
You know what? I was trying to be helpful. Forget it. I'm done. You know what? You want to get a pine needle up your butt? Fine. Just go for it. No, seriously. I think chiggers are another one.
Oh, yeah.
Not as much in our area, but chiggers are nasty to get in private places. So,
any places.
Yeah.
Especially private places, but any.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So, yeah. On the other hand, there are some people like Sergio Fegley swears by going regimental because of ease of getting in and out of her tent, ease of relieving yourself, all those kinds of factors. So you got to test it. Your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
If you're going to go regimental, at least have a pair of skivvies in your pack just in case.
Yeah. Chafing's the other one.
Yeah. Some of us chafe more than others.
Yep. So I would say either bring a pair of skivvies, that's a good idea. An extra pair just in case you need it, or a dry pair in case ones get wet with sweat or whatever. And then the other thing is maybe body glide, something to anti-chafe technology stuff.
Potentially.
Yeah. Indeed. We're getting way too personal on this show.
Yeah.
As far as this decision goes, though, as always, catchphrase here.
Oh, context is king?
Do you.
Or you do you.
You do you, context is king, and form follows function.
Yeah.
The trifecta.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But I don't understand the appeal of wearing a skin do hiking. I really don't.
No, it's
just personally I don't.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's a pretty decoration as a rule.
I have a Leatherman and I have a camp knife.
A Bowie knife.
It's kind of a drop blade knife I use for like batoning and stuff in camp. But
yeah, I have a leather. I have 800 Leathermans, and then I have I have one in each of my vehicles in the car door, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But I also have a knife that I will stick on the hip strap, so it's not obstructed by the kilt belt. It's not putting pressure on me.
Yeah, that can be kind of cool.
Yes. And mine are typically like multifunction knives. So they have a bottle opener. Not that I would ever need a bottle opener, but they have like, bits in them, or they have like different types of things, or like a fishing line cut, or all kinds of stuff, just to be able to have something functional at quick arm's length.
Yeah. But the again, that's another where we disagree. Is I tend to prefer not to wear wool kilts with straps if I'm wearing a pack, because the bulk of the kilt and the buckles are just miserable with if you have a backpack on. So I will go for PV or sorry to say it, but a utility kilt without a belt sometimes, or a nylon belt. Yeah. All right, we really spent way too much time on that.
Indeed, we did.
Sorry. For those still watching,
yes, indeed.
all two of you.
Who was that, Ian or?
That was
Kirk
me, but
Ian.
Eric went twice previously, so I can sneak in another one if you're not
Go
quite
ahead,
ready,
Ian.
Eric.
I can go on that one.
Fergus515 asked us previously. They have a measurement question. With the hip measurement, if one was to be too generous and make it an inch or so oversized, how would that affect the fit of the kilt?
You can stay on for this one, Ian, if you want. I would say if it's an inch oversized, it's not really going to matter that much. If it's 5 inches over top, what ends up happening is across the back. Think of it like, the waist should fit snug, and then the hips should fit reasonably snug. You want the kilt to kind of like sit and rest on your hips. Now, if the hip measurement, balloons out too much, it's kind of get the stage curtain effect across the rear end. So I wouldn't go too much. But if it's only an inch more, if you're measuring your hip measurement at 44 and it's a touch snug, so you say, okay, I want to make it 45. It's not going to make that big of a deal and that much of a difference. Any additional or other thoughts?
Yeah, you said pretty much exactly what I would have said. A little big is better than a little small. You don't want it too snug in the hips, especially when you go to sit down and you kind of spread out a little bit.
Bust
It's going to be
out the bottom of the
uncomfortable.
fill.
Yeah. That too. So like you said, 1 inch is fine, but yeah, you don't want that drapiness going with too big of an overestimate.
Yes, what ends up
of your
happening
assets.
is it looks if you put too much into the hips, it can look sloppy, and your pleats will not hang straight down. They should effectively go, from the waist out to the hips and then go straight down. That is how the pleats are tapered, is down and out a little bit and then comes straight down from there, straight down to the to the bottom of the kilt. But if you have too much in the hip measurement, it kind of gets wavy across the back, and then they'll kind of hang a little bit wonky. So, very technical term, wonky.
Wonky?
By the way?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Is that Gallic?
Sure.
Wonky? Wonky?
It's spelled with a GH in there somewhere. So, hope that information helps. Mr. Eric?
Okay. Well, I did 2 in a row. Should you do one?
He just did that one.
Or should you do 2 in a row?
He did 2 in a row. That was his second.
Oh, you're right. All right. Good. All right. Here's a fashion-y question. Brian Baldwin asks us, does a sporran need to have fur in order to be considered a dress sporran? Or is just the metal cantle enough?
There are no hard and fast, exactly firm definitions where you draw they're minimal, where you draw a firm line underneath it. They're kind of but not really. For dress sporrans, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. For dress sporrans, the typical definition, if I had to define a dress sporran, would be a fur front to the sporran and a metal rim semicircle, what's called a cantle, on the very top of the sporran. Right. Now, you do have leather dress sporrans, meaning a leather sporran with 3 tassels and then the metal cantle on top. So it kind of lives in a gray area. Or a piper's sporran, which is also kind of a dress sporran. It's leather with the 5 leaves coming down, the leather, like what they're called, leaves. And then the metal cantle on top so that they don't drum while the piper is marching. It's not really a dress sporran, but it's not a dress sporran. So it kind of lives in this limbo, in this purgatory. So yes, typically I would say The regular definition of a dress sporran is to have fur on the front, but you can kind of have a leather dress sporran, and it works. I mean, it's fine. We sell a good amount of them. They're pretty popular, but it's not a dress sporran, but it's not a dress sporran.
Yeah, I think it comes in tiers, is how I would put it. I think the bottom line is it needs to have a cantle. That is number one parameter, and then the fur is an optional parameter. It's the second tier. It is very, very common. It is much less common to have something other than fur. But there are, in addition to the leather, there's the exotic dress sporrans out there, like the ones that that one gal makes that has like the pheasant feathers and stuff like that instead.
Kate McPherson, I think.
Yeah. Yes. So there's all kinds of creative license that's been applied to this over the years. But the bottom line is you need to have a cantle for it to qualify as a dress sporran, and then typically you will have fur, and it can take all kinds of forms after that.
Yeah, the vast majority do have fur, I would say.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, the cantles themselves these days will change also. I mean, there's all kinds of designs under the sun, but in recent years people have experimented with using other materials instead of metal. There's wooden designs out there. There's a stone design out there, like something made out of like soapstone or whatever. All kinds of funky stuff like that, or braided leather. Trying to go for a different aesthetic, but the baseline is metal cantle first, fur second.
I would
usually
agree.
It's the oval shape too. The shape is pretty standardized also.
Yeah. I would agree, and I would also say this. It is tradition, but it is also fashion, and it kind of evolves over time, and people play around with it and do different things, and they want to express their individuality, and they want to have fun with it.
Right.
So there are dress sporrans with a tweed front instead of fur. There are dress sporrans with a leather front. There are wood cantles, as you talked about, or stone cantles. There are different types of thing. There's a renaissance of Victorian-style sporrans, Victorian-style cantles, leather
ornate
bags that are softer, floppy kind of leather bags, not hard. They have more natural look to them, or organic. So there's no... This is what it looks like. Here is a dress sporran, singular thing. It must look and be defined exactly like this. But it's fun. It's your personality. This is a spot where people can do something a little bit different. They can express their individuality. They can have an opinion in one way. One of the things we said before is you have to know the rules in order to break them. So by his definition, and mine too, it's a metal cantle on the top of a sporran. So what makes a soapstone, whatever the heck they were using, sporran cantle dress or not dress? Is it? Who knows? They're breaking a rule, but they're doing it on purpose. Yep. It's a fur sporran. Everything else looks like a dress sporran, but it's a wood cantle or a soapstone, whatever. It's fun. It's different. It's expanding your mind. It's expanding the definition of the thing. Sometimes some people will say, nope, you've gone too far. That's now outside the definition. I would personally say that for a wood cantle sporran. I wouldn't wear one to a dress function, but maybe with a tweed, it would look pretty damn smart. I know you don't like it at all. I don't mind it with a tweed. But the point is, it's a gray area, and it's fun, and it's evolution. Yeah. It doesn't have to stick around. If you're only ever going to buy one, I would buy a more traditional one because it's more accepted.
Right.
But if you want to play around with it, and it's part of your everyday wear, and it's part of your fashion, maybe own a couple, maybe own...
Are you suggesting a dress sporran for everyday wear, sir?
Sorry, Mom.
Good gods, man. Where do you think you are? Do that tunic up. Actually, you already do have your tunic up. I think if it's a good idea, it will stick. If it's a fashion experiment, it will drift away. Yeah. So, if you look at what they were wearing, as we often say, 50, 100 years ago, if you can recognize the motifs, then you're on safe ground with choosing something for your outfit. Dress sporrans are definitely very much the case. It's very much the case with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Wash day.
Here endeth the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mr. Ian, was that you or was that Eric? My memory is
that
horrible.
one was Eric.
Lovely. So who do you got out there?
I'll throw you guys a softball this time. From Lana Ilder Sr., who, if my memory serves me correct, is coming to us from the Carolinas, says, my first time to a live show. How come Rocky and Eric look younger when they're alive?
Do we actually look
We
younger?
look younger when we're live?
Apparently, according to Lon.
It's the Scotch.
How often does he
The
see
water of life.
How often has he seen us in person for comparison? I mean,
Or do we look less live?
I think he's critiquing our videography. I think he's saying our clips make us look
Old.
dead. I don't know.
Yes. We
don't know.
need to put a cane on there, and
Right.
longer gray beards.
We're sort of like Colin Robinson. We're like emotional vampires, but in a good way. So when we're interacting with you guys, we're actually feeding off of your
Yes,
energy.
exactly.
So we're more alive now than we are when we're just sitting in front of the computers. Gotta make the video. So
Succubus.
yeah, Incubus. I think you might what you want.
Both.
Unless there's something I don't know about you.
According to Matt on the videography team, he says it's the excellent lighting this time, and he says you're welcome.
I think we stand upon the shoulders of giants, other average-sized people, and yeah, I think we are blessed in having people who are very talented with making us look good. Is the truth of it, and a lot of it has gone into trying to make this something that we can make look good, because trying to be worthy of the topic.
Exactly. Trying to do our best for you people, the viewer. Indeed. For you people.
But
condescending.
really, it's just the Scotch.
Pretty much. Yes. All right, Mr. Ian, give me another one.
Yeah, a real question.
Okay, I am absolutely ready for that.
That wasn't a question. That was an offhand compliment.
Okay,
Yes.
I will throw one at you. I'm not sure how you're gonna react to this one. So,
Horribly.
from Stray Cat
Oh
1674.
God, not Stray Cat again.
Oh,
Will you just come down here in person sometime, man? I mean,
Say, I recognize the name. I don't remember.
get a lot of this out of the way if we have an actual conversation.
But they want to know, when is you do you just too much?
when it's a tattoo. My full back piece. You do you. Form follows function. My rocker panel.
Oh.
Yeah. My MC.
Which reminds me of an off-color joke or comment, which I will not make.
When is it too much? Should we take this quasi seriously?
A long time ago, we did a monster kilt outfit, the worst possible kilt outfit. The video's on YouTube. Go check it out. I think it's we've said before, it's a critical mass thing.
Yeah.
It's not one thing. It's a combination of things that build up to a pile of suck. So,
Yeah, there's the way I've described it before is it's not a graph, it's not a curve, it's actually a circle where you can go from on one end of the circle, or the beginning end is the least, the Halloween costume, cheesy, you spent no money, you did no research, end of it. And then you go up and around the other end of the circle where you get to tradition. And then you go, where you have personal expression, and then you go down and then it's more tradition and you're less personal expression. And then you go over the other side where you're over the top and everything clan crest, everything all tartan all the time. And it comes back around to a caricature in an overly expensive way, but not a cheap way. So it's where do you fall on that circle? You do you is the shorthand way of saying you're allowed to express your own opinion, your own sense of style within this. It doesn't have to be cookie cutter BS Halloween costume or cookie cutter what a traditionalist would wear.
Right.
And even in that, there is still other things of you can put your own tweed into it. You can put your own tattersall shirt with a kilt, and you can express yourself in subtle ways that make it your own. People do this to varying degrees of success. The you do you is who am I to tell that person that they're wrong and I'm right. I have a sense of tradition about it. I understand more of the conventions probably than most. I am not a perfect being. He's not a perfect being. But at the same time, we're not casting judgment on you. It's you expressing yourself within the bounds of Highland wear to whatever degree you want to be in Highland wear versus just a fashion thing.
yeah, I think there's on the one hand, from a philosophical standpoint, if it brings you joy, do it. You can't go far with being yourself in a sense, as long as you're not hurting anybody, right? the dandies have an expression for this, which is basically knowing when you're not wearing the clothes anymore, the clothes are wearing you. That's when you know you're trying too hard. And there's Bulwer Lytton wrote a novel. It's the novel where he was the guy who came up with the opening novel line. It was a dark and stormy night.
Okay.
He's famous for that. But he did a book back in Regency period, which was basically Pelham, or The Adventures of a Gentleman. And one of the things in the book is Pelham's maxims. And I wish I had them memorized, because I have exactly the maxim in my head that fits this situation. I can't remember what it is. But this dandy Pelham basically explains all these different rules for how to not look like a jerk, but dress well and do it right. And it comes down to, there's context is king. You know, you don't wear the same outfit going to a minister's house or going to your mistress's house, or your aunt's house. Yes, those are actually in the lines. And there are different expectations of people on how to dress based on age. You know, you are more forgiving of a young person for, outlandish fashion than you tend to be of an older person, where the default is you are hoping, or people expect you to be a little bit more dignified. This is old, musty, crusty, conformist kind of advice, but a lot of it actually holds true.
Yeah.
So go ahead and look up Pelham's maxims, and we'll have a discussion on it separately. That was really, I didn't express myself well there.
No. I like where you're at with it, and I would say this. There's I forget the comedian, but I've said this recently, I'll say it again. Being young and angry, it's righteous young anger. Being old and angry, you're just the old curmudgeon guy. Being middle-aged and angry, you're just an asshole. So I can't wait to get to the older age. Surprise. I can't wait to get to older age where I'm just the old curmudgeonly guy versus just the jerk for being angry.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
indeed.
I get it. I mean, yeah, it's follow your joy, but don't hurt anybody. And also realize that the more outlandish you're going to be, the less respect you might get from average people in the community. I mean, I know I get better treatment at business establishments if I'm wearing a kilt and a tie and sharp day wear than if I go out to the same establishment wearing like a goth outfit I'd wear to the club. It's just, you're dealing with people's average expectations. You are not an average person. The fact that you're interested in this stuff proves you're not an average person, but you just have to be prepared for the reactions you'll get from people out there in the world.
And that also goes back to the know the rules before you break them.
Right.
If you understand the rules, the conventions, not really rules, but the conventions are, you can choose to break them subtly in specific instances for specific reasons to express yourself. Right. You will be much more well received than if you're just, I'm going to wear what I want, and I'm going to wear a purse as a Sporran, and I'm going to wear a See You Jimmy hat, and I'm going to, get this Halloween costume. Then you look like an idiot. But if you're just doing one little thing, you're wearing a brooch as a kilt pin as opposed to a traditional sword-shaped thing because it's your mother's or your great-grandmother's brooch, then fine. It's a twist on it. It's not completely throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
That's the first thing they teach you in art school. Know the rules before you break them. That's rule number one for art. So it applies to this too.
Agreed. See, I would toast to you now, except I don't have any scotch. And you have it all over there?
Yeah.
How dare you, my good man.
You want to serve yourself? Or you're going to let you serve yourself?
I'll serve myself.
It's very un-Japanese of you.
Well.
You're never supposed to pour your own sake in Japan. Someone else should always serve you your sake.
I wouldn't drink sake anyway because I don't like wine.
Oh, you're missing out.
I don't like wine. It's rice wine, right?
That's how it's a vinted product, but it's not. It's not like wine.
Close enough. I'll stick with scotch.
Whatever.
I believe I would try it once.
God, now I want sushi. Jen, if you're watching, let's get some sushi tonight.
I'd be happy to
Kelly,
join you.
if you're watching, never ever feed me sushi.
Yosh. Now it's my turn?
Shh. I don't know.
I think it is. Okay. Wow, we got 15 minutes to go. All right. Will O'Hare. Fellow Japanophile, actually. Asked, and he's being slightly facetious here, but it's a serious question. Does size matter? No, seriously, folks. Are some tartans better suited for particular height or width of the wearer? Will the same set size look better on different wearers? Yeah.
Sure.
The question is, how much should you worry about?
That's the subtext. Yes, 100%.
That was what Peter McDonald said. His answer to Will on the group was, "You're overthinking this," and Will was like, "Yeah, but it's fun." So
that's the point, is to overthink this. We wouldn't have a show.
We wouldn't have a show if we didn't overthink this stuff.
The set size, the size of the tartan. So from where one stripe occurs in the tartan to where it occurs again is the set size. The question is, how big is too big? How little is too little? There's let's say too big, 25 inches. 4 feet, whatever, 48 inches. Yet you would not be able to have a complete set on the front apron. On the other end of it, let's say, an inch and a half, 2 inches, or, half an inch, whatever. That's too small. You end up looking like you're wearing a tablecloth.
Yeah.
So, taking the extreme ends out of it, because neither are going to look good. Generally, I would say bigger set sizes look good on bigger guys. Smaller set sizes look good on smaller guys.
Right.
Now, again, we're taking this scale and we're shrinking it in a little bit. We're only focusing on the center. So, if you have a real big dude, he's got a 55, 60-inch waist, then if he wore all things being equal, same weight of cloth, same mill, same price, everything like that, a 5-inch set is not going to look as good on him as, let's say, an 8 or a 10-inch set. I would prefer to skew a little bit towards the larger end. If you have a smaller guy, let's say a 32-inch or 33-inch waist, then for him, maybe a 5.5, 6-inch set would look fine, but something 8 or 10 inches would maybe look a little bit too big. Mm-hmm. So it's really up to you, but not up to you. I mean, the mills are the ones, as far if it's a stock supported tartan, the mills are the ones who are making this decision. The vast majority of tartans that are stock supported, meaning I can call up the mill and say, hey, send me 5 yards of this, they are going to be in the 6 to 8 inch range. That is what looks best on the vast majority of people. Mm-hmm. So anything under that, it's a little bit small, but but not too bad if it's only like 5 inches or so. And above that, not many mills are going to do it. Could you do a custom weave? Sure. You're going to spend a lot of money. Are you going to get something that looks a lot better for a bigger guy if you go from 8 to 10 inches? My extra $500-600 is not worth that. Mm-hmm. I've just settled on the 8-inch set.
Now, Will was kind of wondering, I think, also if I think this was implied in his question, was what if, or maybe he actually said it in the group, if pleating to the stripe or the set on the back of the kilt would make a difference in terms of thinking something looking flattering on a larger or smaller person.
Not too much either way.
Yeah.
Flattering on them versus them liking it more or liking it less. Let's start with that. Mm-hmm. If you're wearing it, frankly speaking, you're going to see the front when you look down and look straight ahead. You're not going to care what the back of your kilt really looks like.
Right.
Would it be more flattering for a bigger guy to be to the set, not to the stripe? The thought process being pleating a kilt to the stripe, it's more vertical. It's going to draw your eye up and down. I don't think it actually matters all that much. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It depends. My set versus stripe thing is more, does the tartan itself look good to the stripe or not? That's more where I'm making that decision.
Yeah, I agree. I would say, this is something you overthink, and it's something that, while it's an interesting thought exercise, if you're concerned about how you're going to look in a kilt and how your outfit's going to look based on your body type, this is a low-tier concern. The one advice I might offer if somebody was worried about it would be to avoid a tartan that has a very bold accent stripe. Like, don't go for something with a white stripe, because that's going to draw more attention to the gridullarness. It's
gridullarity.
The gridullarity. Oh wow, we just changed the term. Wow, we've expanded. Gridulosity sounds a little obscene. I don't know.
Speed of the grid.
If your set size is so large that there's a red shift, then it's probably too big. No,
again, he's gone to plaid. I'm doing multiple Spaceballs references this episode. Yes.
They have been noticed.
Yes.
And commented upon.
Nobody gets my movie references. But yeah, I mean, I would say maybe avoid something with a white stripe. Is about the only thing I think about. I think a more blended color palette tartan will look better on most people.
A lower contrast.
A lower contrast.
So something like we'll throw up a reference later on. Stewart of Appin Red Muted, where all the colors are kind of similar. They blend nice, but it's not a bold white, or there's no white and there's no black.
Yeah.
So the contrast is kind of a nice subtle in the middle.
Yeah. That's because darker colors, as the cliche goes, black is slimming. Well, darker colors in general can be slimming, and if you want you want to draw the attention of the eye to the sporran, or to other parts of the outfit, so you're drawing the eye up, like say to a really nice tie or something, then go for a simpler, darker tartan. Would be my fashionista advice on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not disagree.
But it's a minor point compared to other factors. I mean, most people are going to choose their tartan based on their clan, and nothing else really matters.
And frankly,
or
a
at least
lot
the
of
first
people,
tartan.
and a lot of people don't have a set size option or that many options. So it's not. It's to some degree, it's a moot point where it's if your set size is Loch Heron carries it, House of Edgar carries it, Martin Mills carries it. One of them is 7, one of them 7.5, one of them's 8 inches. You don't really have much choice. So just pick what you want.
But based on the most popular tartans out there, a lot of them, I would argue that things that are a little more subtle in the tone do tend to be more popular. So I think there's an instinctual thing there. Like, that's a beautiful tartan. Kilts and Culture is a beautiful tartan. Neither of them have that like wah in your face accent stripe of like white or mustard yellow or something.
Yeah, white.
It's not that, but look how it's
because it blends.
You've got guards on it, and it blends with the gray.
Yeah,
it's not. And the gray, the gray and the white are closer together than like say, green or navy blue or something would be.
And there's something to be said for not a black and white buffalo check kind of thing, where it's an extreme contrast side by side, versus something like this where it's it kind of flows into itself and into one another, where it's not a super high contrast, but yet some contrast. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back for designing it. It's more of the thought process of designing it.
Yeah, more avant-garde modern fashion over the hundreds of years or 20th century has been higher contrast stuff.
Yeah,
blended colors are much more traditional for a reason. They're easier on the eye, so they're easier to wear.
Agreed.
Yeah,
very good, Mr.
Well, I have some input to offer on the question, if you don't mind.
I would love to hear it.
I think there's one tartan that would look particularly lovely on people of any size. They should probably consider the Celtic Nations Muted. That's all.
I mean,
it
who
look great.
I agree. I agree. But where can one get such a tartan?
No idea.
No idea. Yeah.
Not linked in the comments down there.
Yep.
I'm not adding it in once again.
So who was that?
You just like add.
I know. Do you have to block yourself from spamming the comments? We have a bot. His name seems to be Ian Anderson, and he keeps linking to this website.
When we do Spirit of the Dragon or Norse Heritage, I will be the one spamming everybody. So
fair point.
We'll all take turns, advocating for
annoying
tartans.
our customers and the viewers. With
our former customers.
Former viewers.
I'm so done with them. No, it's Ian's turn for a question.
So. Is it now?
Yes, it is.
So I'm going to sneak one in here that's really more for me to address, if anything. Because Mike Lynch wants to know, to work at the store as a boss, do you have to be bald? As we can see, we have 2.
It helps.
A third is going that way.
We both had
names
full
mentioned.
Luxuriant hair before we started working.
But I've got I'm the store manager here, and I've got these lovely flowing locks here.
Give it a year.
It's the gray that'll happen first.
Yeah, they're there. I mean, the lighting is good. But I don't know if you can see them all. But yeah, they're coming in.
I've seen them.
If you wanted a more serious question though, from the same asker, Mike Lynch, he wants to know, how young is too young for a piper to have a skin do?
Oh.
Well, they make dummy skin do's.
Yeah.
So you could be pretty young as a piper and have a skin-do. It's how young of a kid do you want to hand a knife?
Yeah,
and I've handed my son. My son is now 8. We've gone on hikes when he was 7 this past summer, and I've started. Oh, I hope Kelly's not watching. I've started allowing him to carve wood. I've taught him about the safety circle and that kind of thing. But I've done it under supervision with no one else around aside from me and my cat-like reflexes, in case he tries to stab me. And I have my own knife so I can defend myself. But did I just talk about stabbing my son? Kind of. However, would I give it to him to, trust with him to have? No, 8 in my mind is probably a little bit too young. So for a bagpiper, a dummy skin do might work for a period. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I agree. I mean, it's like any other weapon essentially. I think a dummy skin do is a good idea, just like a waster sword is a good idea. You should always teach your kids to sword fight while they're young. Make boffers. It's a good family activity. But I think there's 2 ways to look at it. Number one is it's a sharp-edged weapon. You need to gauge their motor skill level and their level of responsibility, their level of awareness.
Yes.
My son has had a camping knife for a few years, actually. I think I gave it to him. His first one that was like his was like when he was 12. And that was after practicing and using my stuff and things like that for a long time. I gave him his first, and this is a family tradition, but I gave him his first Swiss Army knife just this past year. It was my dad's. It was his grandfather's, who has since passed. So that had a double layer to it. That it's not just I'm giving you something because I trust you, and because you're at an age now where having tools and learning to use your tools and being a capable, independent, functioning human is something you're starting to grow into. But it was also the tradition. So I wasn't going to give him that particular item until it was like he had a sense of the emotional import of it. So I think a skin do, a functional skin do, the first part applies. A clan crest skin do or something that has symbolic meaning to you, to your family, that's different. And I think you want to wait until they're a teenager or something. You're going to say, look, this is part of our family tradition. This is part of our heritage. This is an important item. I trust you to carry on this tradition, so I'm giving this to you now. So that's a whole nother layer.
I agree, and I'm going back to the video we did.
No, I'm getting choked up.
No, I'm going back to the video we did on the write 'em a letter thing. I would take the opportunity of that scenario, and I think that's beautiful. And I'm not trying to sound cheesy about it. I honestly think that is nice. I will probably do something like that for Liam. I would take that opportunity to make it almost a ceremony, where this is a thing we are formally doing for you, or you are formally, as his father to son, are formally doing for him, and or write him a letter with it, explaining what it means, why it means something, the level of trust you have in him. He has now become an adult in your eyes, or he's passed a certain threshold.
Right. It's a rite of passage.
Correct. And kind of give that to him and allow him to keep that memory either alive in his mind or the physical letter that you give him, so that 50 years from now, when we're both gone, hopefully not, but that he will have that and be able to say, okay, now I need to do this for my son.
Right. That's so there's 2 levels to it.
Yeah.
But the practicality thing has to come first. My son has had this is TMI in a way, but he's had motor control issues since he was born. So for me, I was very, very, very sensitive about, okay, does he have the motor control to work with a knife? He's since gotten into like whittling. He just does it.
Yeah.
Whenever we go camping, it's like the first thing he wants to do is like sit and whittle. So okay, it's like, all right, okay, you're getting that skill level down, so it's okay. But getting him used to the idea of having something, that's what toys are for. So I think a dummy skin do is a great idea. That's why toys were invented. That's why toys exist, is to give kids a chance to practice for adult tools and things.
Yeah.
I mean, one reason they exist. But.
Yeah, they have to eventually transition. It is up to you as the parent to decide when they are mature enough emotionally and physically to be able to handle it, that you can trust them with it. I mean, some kids, I wouldn't necessarily trust some kids with a knife at age 16, much less age 8. Right. So it depends on the individual, and recognizing that and looking at it, from a realist lens within your own family. But yeah, it's making it part of the tradition, making it a thing to be revered and a thing to be, an emotional punch. I really like that idea.
And I know some people will use it as an incentive also. It's like, when the kid's admiring your thing, whatever it is, whether it's a skin do or a sword or something else, so it's like, someday you'll be ready for this. Someday. Keep at it. Keep doing what you're doing. And then incentivizing them. So there's something to that too.
I agree. I wouldn't incentivize them with a date, because they're looking
no,
forward to
not a date.
What's the end.
It's vague. You gotta keep it vague. Yeah.
Indeed.
You will know when you are calm, at peace.
Indeed. Flow like water. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that was Ian.
That was Ian.
Mr. Eric, we'll ask you the last one. Ian, as the guest, I am going to give you the honor / challenge, because I can't think of one. What is going to be the question of the day for the viewing audience?
You're going to let him come up with a question of the day?
I am.
Oh, that's a thing we do, huh?
Let / make.
That is a thing.
Because
I watch
can't
the
think
show
of one.
regularly, and I knew this.
And you weren't ready?
But not
yeah,
yet.
so...
It's
Take his skin do away. Okay. All right. Ray Campbell asked us, would puttees work with a kilt, or are they something only for living history events?
Puttees, for those...
Should explain what puttees are.
Yes, for those who don't know. It is, for lack of... I didn't know till I Googled it. In fact, it's effectively
leg wrap.
Leg wraps, exactly. Worn pre-World War I into World War I kind of time frame.
Yeah.
So, would I wear that? Not spats. Spats just, covering the top of the lower part of the leg, as well as the top of the shoe.
Right.
These are, wraps that go around almost up to the top of where you would wear a kilt hose, mid-calf kind of height.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yep.
Would I wear one with a kilt? No.
No.
They were worn essentially up until and about, World War I kind of thing. Would I wear them as part of a living history thing? Sure, if I was, reenacting something that was from the 1800s. Yes, if it was appropriate. Would I...
If it was appropriate. But.
Correct. Would I wear them as a history-bounding kind of thing, meaning taking a historical item and putting it into the current day outfit that I am wearing? Specifically those, no. Would I wear an old style tweed or an old style kilt pin or something, honoring tradition and heritage? Mm-hmm. I would bring that in and wear it, incorporate it with my daily wear, but I wouldn't necessarily wear that because it's kind of been left on the dustbin of history, so to speak. Yeah. It is not something that can be seen anywhere else currently in fashion. It went out of fashion way back. Fashion, I'm using a loose term, but
very
military fashion, so
right.
to speak. It's functional way back then. Therefore, I wouldn't try to do it. It would feel like it was forcing a square peg in a round hole.
I mean, sometimes there's an element from past fashion which is cool and is worth resuscitating or adding in for spice. I mean, history bounding can be anything from a complete outfit that is based on head to toe on, say, 1884. I love the fashion of the 1880s. I'm going to dress like that. And then history bounding can be a light touch, like we talk about, like adding vintage stuff, into your outfit. Or even you could say wearing a great kilt modernly is a kind of a history bounding thing. But the puttees, it's just going to look awkward. I can see where people might think it's an interesting idea because, like, from a steampunk standpoint, I could see cosplayers being into it. But they're a pain to wear. They're a pain to put on, trust me.
They'll fall down.
You got to get them really tight. They're kind of like a pre-modern compression sock in a way. They're meant to protect your lower leg, but also just help support your muscles when you're standing around for hours and hours and hours. Highland troops didn't really wear them much. I after this question came in, I went and looked. I was like, did they ever really use them? And out of the scores of photos you'll find from the Great War of the Highland regiments and the Commonwealth regiments and all that stuff, guys wearing kilts are typically wearing kilt hose and spats. They're not wearing puttees. I found 2 examples of people wearing puttees with their field uniform.
Okay.
So it's not even a common thing you would do for a historical impression for living history. So kudos for thinking outside the box, but I wouldn't go outside the box in this direction.
Don't go that far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair. No, I agree.
Just generally. I mean, it's some things are cool, some things are just not worth. They're not going to give you the effect that's going to look that great.
Yeah, it's cool to go outside the box. It's cool to make it your own. It's cool to bend the rules or break rules or conventions. But there are some that it would look forced, and in that instance, I think I wouldn't do it, and this kind of falls into that category for me.
Yeah. We've had the similar question come up before with doing a historical impression of a Celt or of a Highlander. Like, should you wear Viggelbonder, which is the leg wraps that go back to the Viking Age? They never wore them. As far as we can tell, they did not use them in that part of the world. So,
Fair.
So it's just not something you do.
All right, Ian, I'm going to rescind my offer. I thought of a great question.
Okay.
You could do 2.
I do want to add before we move
test it.
on that I'm sure Mac is very disappointed that you guys were answering this question without him.
Yeah, I'm sure something like it will come up again.
Yeah, serves you right to have a kid.
Yeah, how dare you reproduce?
All right, boys and girls, question of the day. If you could pick, we're going to riff on the word history bounding, or the term history bounding, meaning taking an element of historical Highland wear and incorporating it into current day dress. What element would you pick? Let me know in the comments. What part of a traditional kilt outfit that is not typically seen today, or maybe a little bit too fancy, but you want to just wear it everyday kind of wear, would you want to incorporate into your outfit? What is the Peaky Blinders, Downton Abbey, Boardwalk Empire type thing you want to recreate? That's the question of the day. Let us know in the comments. Very good. Until next time, boys and girls, thank you for watching, and Slanjava.
Slanjava.